Hi all, I'm Al Daldian, the creator and producer of the Libby podcast. This 100% volunteer-run show was born out of the Rainforest Alberta movement and features incredible people who are leaders, innovators, and have big ideas. This episode is hosted by Rea Hailley, and it is the 12th episode of her series. Today, her guest is Kristen Carrier. Rea, the mic is yours.
Hi everyone, I'm Rea Hailley, co-founder of New Idea Machine, where we design and build cost-effective apps, integrations, and automations that save you time and money and propel your business. Welcome to 5 questions and 1 wild story, fempreneurs to watch for. Today's fempreneur is Kristen Carrier, co-founder of 7 Summit Snacks. Hi Kristen, welcome.
Good morning, Rea. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. All right, Kristen, let's dive in.
Sounds
what
good.
do you do and why is it important?
So I am a chocolate scientist.
Mm-hmm.
I call myself a chocolate scientist. I started a company called 7 Summit Snacks, and we make functional energy chocolate for people who are athletically inclined. And I believe that it's important because being fueled properly for your outdoor and active endeavors is important. It allows you to get to the end of it in a safe way, but we want to make it delightful as you go. And so bringing that delight to people while they're being active, while they're hiking, walking, mountain biking, doing triathlons is important to us. And we know it's important to other people as well because we hear it from them firsthand that, hey, our products really helped them get to the end line.
Now, I've tasted your chocolate and it is delightful. I couldn't get enough of it. And I just want to make it clear that it's not just for people who are athletic. If you're a chocolate lover like myself, you're going to love Kristen's chocolates.
Thank you. Yeah, we believe that we're providing products for people for their marathon of life. So using a marathon or climbing a mountain as a metaphor, people have those challenges that they're facing every day, and it doesn't have to be the absolute physical one. It can be the mental one as well. And chocolate that's well sourced, has good ingredients, and it is going to help you get there as well and hit that finish line.
Yes, because it has so many health benefits, the good quality kind.
Good quality ones, exactly.
Now, what surprised you most about becoming an entrepreneur? Because you've been doing this now for about 5 years, right?
Yeah, we're just coming up to it's our 5th year of sales this October. So we're still here, we're still growing. And I think the most surprising thing to me was how difficult it would be to sell chocolate. So we know the data says that 80% of people in North America love chocolate. And I've been working in the chocolate industry. I had a corporate career in global chocolate research and development prior to my entrepreneurship. So I knew people love chocolate, but I took for granted how challenging it was going to be to sell. And it's because there's a lot of chocolate out there. People have their favorites. They shop on price. And when you have a product that's a little higher price, people need to know, they have to really trust you that it's going to be good and that it's going to be worth the money. And so for that reason, we've been growing, but just maybe not as quickly as I thought we would.
Yeah. Chocolate is one area that I will not hold back. Like I will pay a premium for good chocolate because life is too short.
I totally agree. And I think that's I was coming from that sphere of influence like you. I'm the same way. My sister, who I co-founded with, she's the same way. We're the ones that go in the grocery store. We're looking for a new chocolate to try. And we're not looking at we might look and comment on the price, but we're looking to try something new and exciting and really find that new next delicious chocolate. And so for us, we were just maybe a little naive that everyone wasn't like us.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't know what they're missing if they haven't had high quality chocolate.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Now, have there been times where you've wanted to quit as an entrepreneur? And if so, what kept you going?
Yeah, there's so many times where you're just feeling where it feels really hard and relentless. And you're like, where is the end? When is the light coming at the end of that tunnel? Because you're just swimming around in the dark. And I think honestly, what keeps me going, there's 2 things. One, I love still making chocolate for myself. I do very little of that now, but because I'm running the business. But we do have a facility we work out of in Edmonton. And when I get the opportunity to go in there and work with the ladies who are making our bars, I love it because I love just working with chocolate. I come from like a craft background. And then the second thing on, and you taste it fresh. And oh my God, it's so amazing when it's so fresh. But then the other thing too is when we do an event. And so we do a lot of our marketing by going to a running event, or we'll do a pop-up at a hiking store, something like that. People come and try the bars. One, people try it and they love it, but also it's the people that come to us who have said, hey, we tried your product. Someone gave it to us when we were really struggling on our bike, on the hiking trail while we're running. And you know what? It really worked. This is the only thing that I like to eat now. And for me, that's what's really rewarding. That's how I know we're doing the right thing. And we're providing a solution to folks who really just struggle with finding things that fuel them and make them feel well while they're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine how impactful that would be, especially if you're in a race or a marathon. Like you definitely want that energy to just keep going.
Yeah. And it's more than the energy for us. It's that like, chocolate gives you this emotional lift. Like a carbohydrate gel or a Cliff Bar is never going to do that for you. You're going to eat it and okay, it'll give you some energy, but you're not going to feel emotionally uplifted from it. And chocolate just has that special effect because of the nature and the history of it. And so being able to provide someone with one fuel, but also that emotional lift, especially if they're several hours into something, that's what's often really important as well about our products and what really is the clincher for people who continue to use our bars.
That's amazing. So it's good for your body and your mind.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Now, what are people most surprised to learn about you?
I think that I've traveled a lot is one. So I am in Edmonton now, where my family is and where I was born and raised. But I spent 10 years in Europe learning how to make chocolate on a global scale. And so people appreciate that I know a thing or two, but then I think it's when they understand, or I have a conversation with someone where I really can get into the depths of the science, both from a consumer perspective. So I have a background in consumer science, which is the understanding of purchasing behaviors and drivers of liking, but also on the fundamental recipe and ingredient side of things. And so on the surface, maybe I look like just a chocolatier, but in the depths of it, I've got quite a nerdy brain on how things work. And I can really just go for hours and talking about the mechanisms of how it's digested, the benefits on a micronutrient level, critical parameters while you're processing it that are really going to affect the feel and the taste of the chocolate that then affects how someone will enjoy it 1 month after it's made and even 6 months after it's made. So I've got a really deep understanding, and I got all of that from living and working in Europe at some of the biggest chocolate companies.
That's incredible. And, this is a question I'd love to ask. It's not standard, one of the standard 5 questions, but what's the most challenging aspect of being in this industry?
I think it's like sourcing and margins. So one, reliably sourcing an ingredient that has such a volatile price at this point in time has been quite challenging to our margins. So it keeps us on our toes as to finding high quality ingredients that still we can manage from a price perspective. And so a consumer at the end of the day has an expectation of how much they're going to want to pay for a bar. And again, take you and me out of it who are less price sensitive to it. But the average consumer really doesn't want to spend more than $2 or $3 on a chocolate bar. And when we're presenting ours at like $4.50, that's a big leap for them. And so making sure there's a way I could make a $3 chocolate bar, no problem, but the quality of the ingredients are just not going to be there. And it's not going to taste special or different to anything else that's out there. And so for us, that sourcing continuously, making sure that our chocolate is sustainably and ethically sourced, that our ingredients are coming high quality, that they're easy to digest in your body is really important to us, and keeping that in a price point that resonates for a consumer.
Yeah. I can imagine that would be immensely challenging, because I think you were telling me that the price of chocolate fluctuates on a daily basis. So how the heck do you consider that and forecast that into your pricing?
Yeah, you can't. And so for the story that we have is this year, Q1, the price went up 15%. Q2, the price went up another 20%. but I had to submit price increases already in Q1. And so I submit a price increase to our retailers, which is then locked for 12 months. And then my prices went up another 20% after that.
Oh
and
my.
then another 10% after that. So totally negated any of the price change that I had put into effect. So, and I just have to eat that cost now for the rest of the year until I can do it again. So it's another industry challenge in a packaged goods industry, especially in food, where the major retailers dictate what you can submit from a price range. But so you have to you eat some of that cost as a producer.
Yeah, that's quite an increase.
Yes.
Now, what advice would you give other female entrepreneurs?
I think there's like two things. One is just get started. I think a lot of the times women want to have all the answers before they even start something. And the reality is that what you think is going to happen in entrepreneurship is going to change as you go. And so you have to be nimble and flexible. So you know what? You might as well just start if you don't have all the answers, and be flexible to make those changes as your product or your brand or your platform develops. And then the second thing I think, which is like a super special power that most women have, is like, we've got pretty good intuition. And so, yes, you need to use the data to back up your decisions, especially big decisions, but you need to trust your gut and trust what you know. You have so much lived experience already. It could be from another industry, but businesses work in a similar way. Products are made in similar ways, and consumers act in similar ways, irrespective of what the product, service, or business is. And so just having that lived experience and bringing it to the decision table is really important. And I think it's because, you're starting this business. You've started it for a reason. So you do know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you need your outside data to validate that. But at the end of the day, like, be confident in what you know already.
Yes, I love that. And that's so true. And I think, especially if you're women, we tend to doubt ourselves.
Yes.
A lot more than needed.
Yeah.
And I think we need to help each other just continue to take one step at a time and keep pushing forward despite those doubts.
Yeah, and have a virtual hand or shoulder that you can lean on from that like emotional support perspective, where, like, even give that person a heads up and be like, hey, I think I'm going to make this big decision. Like, let's just talk about it. Like, walk me through it. And then you'll feel more confident when you need to put it out there.
Yes. Yes. I love that. All right. Now, what's your one wild story, Kristen?
Okay. I'm going to tell you about the inspiration behind the brand name of Seven Summit Snacks.
Okay.
So this is a wild story. So I started this company with my sister. As I mentioned, I was making chocolate in Europe for some major brands. And I'd always come home at Christmas and hang out with my sister, have a glass of wine, and she'd be asking me about what I'm working on, and I'd share some details with her. So kind of like my muse. And so she asked me one day about, what if we ate chocolate for sports instead? And I was like, that's a really good idea. Fast forward about 5 months later, and I'm going to Everest Base Camp with my partner who wants to do the 7 summits. So he's already done Aconcagua, and we were going to Everest, and he was going to do Everest. So I go to base camp with him, say goodbye, go back home to Europe, and leave him there to do his acclimatization. I woke up stark straight in the middle of the night one night, absolutely bolt straight up. And I was like, it's called 7 Summit Snacks. And I had this like big brainwave of information for the brain. Before, kind of knew about the product, but it was like, didn't have a place for it or a brand. It's called 7 Summit Snacks. I open my phone, I write down a bunch of information about the product. I'm like, okay, it's going to have energy for an hour. It's going to be in this format, this many carbohydrates, and all this stuff. I look at the clock and I'm like, oh, Robin's on the summit now. It was his day of summiting. And so I was like, that's pretty cool. And I went back to bed, and I woke up 2 hours later, and I found out at that time he had actually passed away. And this wave of inspiration that I had received was like a gift from him in his final moments. And with that, I kind of just packed up my life in England and moved home to start this company with my sister. And here we are today. And the legacy was huge for Robin. And so we're able to continue this journey with him in mind. He's our spirit founder, we call him. But it was really just the most insane experience I've had in my life.
No kidding. I don't even know how to respond to that. That is an insanely wild story.
Mm-hmm.
And how beautiful that was his last gift to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had found out based on the timings of time of death and that at that point in time, he had reached the summit 20 minutes before I had woken up, and he passed away about half an hour after the fact. And so, yeah, it was really all in around that time. So really, the spirituality or not, like this was a real experience I had, and it was wild.
Yes. Wow. My goodness. and then that was it. Like, then you packed up everything and just came back to Canada.
Yeah, Robin and I were planning to move to Canada anyway. He was interested in immigrating, we wanted to start a family here in Canada. And so we had started the immigration paperwork. We were going to do it after he had finished summiting and coming back to England. And so, yeah, and it's so also just, it's really crazy because had he survived, the pandemic would have been the year after, and we would not have moved. We would not have moved back home. So life would have been extremely different for me. This company might not have existed. Just so, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So clearly this company was meant to exist.
Meant to be. Yes, I believe so.
Wow.
So all those, like you said, those nights where I'm struggling and I'm like, why am I doing this? It's here for a reason. This company is here for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's bigger than you. So you have to keep going. Mm-hmm. I think that happens to a lot of entrepreneurs, who want to quit, who want to throw in the towel. I mean, the alternative sucks. So you don't want to go back to a 9 to 5, but you're also driven. You're just driven, and you can't explain why necessarily, but you just have to keep going and you have to keep building.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask how he passed?
He was exhausted. He was, from what they tell me, he just expired.
Really?
And going into it, it was too much of a challenge for him. He was not prepared enough. But yeah, and it was, everything around his summit attempt was strange. He was usually like hundreds of people will summit on the same day. And he was just out of sync with everybody, but was so determined to do it. This was like his push in life was to do this. He thought it was the epitome of humankind to be able to summit Mount Everest. And so he was doing it at any cost. I knew that going into it. He knew that going into it as well. And unfortunately, his life was what he paid to do it. I believe based on some of the reports that he didn't have enough oxygen. There were some circumstances around it where usually your Sherpa controls your oxygen, but he had the ability to do it himself. He was a cheeky little guy. So I think what had happened is he was probably turning it up on full so that when the Sherpa came, he would like turn it down again. So that the regulator, the Sherpa would be like, okay, you're doing it right. Yeah, they give you a report, and they were definitely 2 bottles short of oxygen. And so I think whether or not he ran out of oxygen or if he just didn't have enough energy, I believe either of those to be true. So crazy, very crazy.
So your products could literally save someone's life.
They could. Yeah, absolutely. Energy. They give energy. And that was kind of some of the thought that I had because at the time when I was brainstorming this, we were very much in the 7 Summits realm of things and mountaineering. And I was like, and that's the problem is when folks are getting up to these crazy high altitudes, digestion is very challenging and even shuts off, but also they will eat and they are encouraged to eat the things they like just so that they can actually eat. And so making a product like chocolate that can melt in your mouth because they don't want to chew because they're so exhausted. But again, it tastes good. It has calories. It was part of the original formulation. And that's not even something we talk about anymore. But I would love to be able to continue to pitch is just like in the mountaineering land of things because you don't need as much water to digest it. It's not dry in your mouth. It's yummy. So there's lots of benefits to it. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like you think chocolate, you're thinking guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Right? You never think like it can actually save someone's life.
100%. And I think, like, again, there you go. Like, you asked me what people maybe don't know about you. And so that's just it. The functionality of chocolate, the benefits of using cocoa butter, but then we add coconut oil to our chocolate, which has a lower melting point than cocoa butter, which allows it to melt in your mouth faster so that you don't have to like really, really chomp on it. So for people who are struggling in an active state, it allows it just to kind of seep in. And then caffeine, the cocoa itself has caffeine, but it also has theobromine. And theobromine is a even more potent kind of energizer than caffeine itself. So although one of our bars is still less than a cup of coffee, like less than a quarter of a cup of coffee as far as like impact, still like a natural little lift that your body is getting energized from. The superfoods, they've got antioxidants in it. Cocoa has antioxidants in it. So when you're in an oxidative state, because you're running, hiking, mountain biking, mountaineering, your body is breaking down faster than it can repair. Having antioxidants swimming around in your blood is going to help to scrub all those free radicals away. So there's really a lot of mechanism to it, really deep mechanism that people just totally take for granted. They just think, oh, it's got sugar and fat, and it's sweet, so therefore it must be bad for me. I must have it in moderation. Well, yeah, or not at all. I'm like, well, actually, it's a way better choice than having a muffin or a cookie or a cinnamon bun.
Yeah.
Or something like that, because you're getting all these really like awesome nutritional components from it, especially when it's well sourced. And so that for us is important. That's why our products cost more, is we're using high quality ingredients.
Yeah. And I noticed too that when I eat very high quality chocolate, I only want like one or two pieces and then I'm satisfied. But the cheaper chocolates, like I want more and more and more. And I think that's the sugar in it that creates that addiction.
Yeah. There's two things in that, again, like me nerding out on this. One, it's the sugar, but it's because it's the roast profile or the processing profile of cocoa and sugar itself. Like, because when you're making the chocolate, you're kind of roasting the sugar a little bit, caramelizing it. The more caramelized, the more rich in flavor that it is. And it's that richness in flavor that triggers satiation. And so having that little bit. So even though you can have a dark chocolate that Lindt is a great example. Lindt 70% is a really good example of low processed dark chocolate. There's not a lot of flavor development to it. So you feel like you're not satisfied so much when you're just going to keep eating it. Or bittersweet chocolate chips, same thing. Kind of like there's not a lot of, it's kind of been, cocoa's just mixed with sugar for a little bit and then it's cooked out. Chocolate or cocoa that's been processed for a longer period of time has more of that roast profile that signifies like more of that satiation. And then that's why you're getting those notes. And so higher quality, more roasting time, more expensive, unfortunately, but because you're paying for cooking it for longer. Effectively.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing that incredibly wild story. My goodness, I'm still just processing it all.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed getting to know Kristen as much as I did. And if you're a fempreneur and you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, please reach out. I'd love to speak with you. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Why not become a podcast host yourself? Libby is a community podcast, and we would love to have your voice as a host or a guest. Check out show.libby.ca for more information, show notes, and links for every episode.
This episode is brought to you by New Idea Machine, a unique blend of a tech incubator and a software development powerhouse. We're not just building software, we're crafting the next generation of homegrown tech wizards. Got a project in mind or looking to hire fresh talent? Reach out and let's make tech magic happen. Visit newideamachine.com for more info.
Music for the show was created by Tony Del Degan.